Hello, everyone. How you going? Hi, everyone in the chat that I can see there. I'll just start off. My name is Mel, if anyone doesn't know me. And today's live stream, we are going to be talking about are you too embarrassed to buy certain items from the charity shop to resell? So, it's going to be a bit of a fun topic, and we'll see who's embarrassed, who's shy, who's awkward, or who's uncomfortable, to buy certain types of things to resell. But this is a live stream, and I'm going to quickly say hello to anyone in the chat. If you are watching live, please join the chat, say hello. If you're new here, put your hand up, and let's go. Let's see who's here. Hey, Jonathan. I'm really embarrassed to resell some items. We'll come back to that. Jonathan. Hey, Ian, how are you? Peter Patter, good morning. Lainey's here. She's doing some work while she's listening. Hello, Lainey. Hi, Marilynis. Marilynis, your name is one of the hardest ones for me to say. Hey, Murray. Hey, Gay. Who else is here? Lyndall, hello. Daryl, good morning. Oh, good night. Like you're 1 a.m. in the UK. You're going to go to sleep soon. PVP's here. You like my thumbnail, PVP. My bra. Do you know I took a long time trying to work out a thumbnail for this particular topic. And I think by the end of it, poor Bron and Rod were absolutely sick of me sending them like ideas for my thumbnail. They were like, just be done with it. Hi, Susan. Hi, Ian. Kelly's here. Good morning. Neil's here. Heaps of people in the chat. I hope I haven't missed anyone. Flipper's here. Hello, Gimbal, Dave. Oh, wow, there's heaps of you here. Anyway, let's talk about this topic because I don't think it's really a controversial topic, but I do think that some people get a little bit awkward buying certain things in the charity shop to resell. And I kind of came about this topic the other day because I was talking to a male friend, reseller, who told me that they were too embarrassed to buy women's shoes. And I was really kind of surprised, and I was a little bit taken back by it because I was like, what do you mean you're embarrassed to buy women's shoes to resell? You're a full-time reseller. And he said, yeah, I'm really embarrassed. It's awkward for me to go there and choose women's shoes and take them up to the counter. What will they think? And I was quite surprised. I was like, I thought that, I don't know. It would never cross my mind to not, and maybe it's different. Maybe it's because I'm a woman. I don't have a problem buying men's shoes or men's clothes. In fact, I don't have a problem buying anything to resell. I'm here to make money. And if I see an item that is, controversial, sexy, kinky, rude, whatever, I will buy it if I know it's going to make me money. So to hear this person who is a full-time seller actually say they're embarrassed to buy just a simple pair of women's shoes, I was quite shocked. And then I kind of thought, wow, I wonder how many other resellers are out there that are skipping over and leaving money on the table because they are literally too embarrassed to buy an item because they're worried at what either the person who's behind the counter is going to think of them when they're running up the sale, or they're worried about getting looks from other people like, ooh, why is that guy buying women's shoes? Or, why is that guy looking through the women's skirts or something like that? So I thought this might be a good topic to kind of come in here and chat about it because, if this is an issue, especially within the males, maybe the males who are maybe more conscious to buy women's items, then I think we need to address it because as resellers, our job is to make money. And, I'm here doing this full time. And money is money, and I don't really have any shame in how I get that money. You know, like if I see something that's worth money, I will be open to buying that item. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about that, you know, especially with something as generic as women's shoes, because women's shoes would be one of the biggest sellers on YouTube, not YouTube, eBay, like a huge, huge market. And if you are too embarrassed to buy women's shoes, you are leaving so much money on the table, because you would be surprised at ugly women's shoes, comfort shoes, high heel shoes, sexy shoes. Like, there's a big market in shoes. Hey, Pommy. So everyone's saying hi. As long as it's looking through and not looking up the women's skirts. Liz is saying embarrassing things are the best to sell, and they usually make the most money. I absolutely agree, Liz. I actually actively seek looking for things that are a bit embarrassing, a bit sexual. These are the kind of items that people do get embarrassed to go into the store and buy. So like some resellers are clearly embarrassed to buy them to resell. But some people who are actually buying them for themselves, they're also embarrassed to go to the shop and buy. And maybe it's a different feeling. Maybe when you know you're buying something kinky for yourself, or something a bit out there, that maybe you do feel a bit more awkward when you go and buy it. Me as a reseller, mentally I know that I'm buying this to resell, and I don't really give two hoots what anybody in that store thinks of me. So I'm just packing up my trolley with, whatever it is. But, people who are embarrassed to buy things for themselves generally seek those items online. So it's a massive market that's open there to actually make money from, because this is where people who are buying for themselves and are embarrassed are going to come and look to buy those items. They'll buy them online, just thinking of the sex industry for a second as an example. I bet there's so many more people who are more comfortable online purchasing sexual items from an online store than going into an adult shop. Some people would have that stigma around them. So I actively seek shoes that look like they would be for a fetish, or actively seek shoes that maybe a stripper would be looking for, or I actively seek shoes that are really large sizes of women's very high heels. So you think about a big pair of stilettos, or a big pair of, like a really tall pair of high heels, sexy heels for the night. But looking for them in like a big size, like a women's size 10 or 11, because guess who's wearing those shoes? A lot of the time it's not women, it's men. Men who are either trans, or men who like to dress up in their house and wear women's shoes. And that's a huge fetish. Like feet fetish, shoe fetish is massive fetish. So there's so much money to be made in fetish type items and fetish type shoes. So I actively seek the highest, biggest stilettos, sexy looking kind of shoes to sell. Like there's money in that kind of genre. And not just those shoes, but like for any of you guys who's maybe embarrassed to buy women's shoes, I can't even tell you how much money there is in women's ugly comfort shoes. Leather, comfy, slip-on. The uglier they are, the more money they seem to make. And if you're a male that's embarrassed to buy women's shoes, please go on to eBay and look at the sold comps, and have a look for yourself, and have a look at how many pairs of shoes are selling, what type of shoes are selling, and the different sizes. And just have a look at how much money you might be leaving on the table because you're too embarrassed about what the lady next door thinks about you buying those shoes. Like, we have to get, it's really a mindset, isn't it? We have to get past this mindset and not care. We just have to not care what other people think about us. And you just have to go into the charity store with the mentality that you're here to make money, and you will buy anything that's willing to make money. If you're a male and you're only shopping in the male clothes, the DVDs, the electronics, and you're skipping over the whole women's section, that's a massive amount of money that you're leaving on the table. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard when you're not familiar with things and familiar with brands and stuff. But as full-time sellers, we have to do our research and learn about these things and learn about what's going to make money and what's in abundance that we can buy, and be open to all that. Okay, let me just have a little read of the chat because I have waffled on here. Okay, I get a little embarrassed buying those sexy Mills and Boons books. Not me. I love to read them. No, I don't. I will buy books on all types of sexual contact, whatever it is. Like, honestly, like, people will actively seek those kind of romance, sexy kind of books because, like you said, they're embarrassed. People love to read that kind of cheap. I've done a video on romance novel, a whole video on romance novels. Like, it's good. We guys make jokes, but we can feel weird buying lady stuff. Okay, so this is an issue. Why do we feel weird? Like, I don't know. Like, explain it to me, PvP. Because I feel like we're there as a reseller, and that's our job to make money. And sometimes you've got to go past these mental blocks in your head. Are you making an assumption that the women in the room are judging you for buying those clothes? Because I wouldn't look twice if there was a guy buying women's shoes or looking through the women's racks. I just wouldn't think twice about it. Like, he could be buying for his wife, his girlfriend, his daughter, or reselling, or he could be buying for himself because he likes to dress up in that stuff at night. Like, I do not judge. I do not care what anybody's preferences are or anything like that. So I wouldn't look twice. So I'm wondering, like, are you making an assumption that people are judging you? Like, why is it so awkward? Why do you feel weird buying ladies' stuff? I don't know. Like, I have looked at wholesale stuff. Does that count as it's not in person? As long as you're looking at it, like, don't walk past the money. If there's money to be made in wholesale embarrassing stuff, then go for it. Like, like somebody, the same person who said to me with shoes, said not only does he feel awkward buying the shoes, but he would actually feel awkward listing and selling those shoes, which I can't really comprehend, because nobody knows who you are when you package and post out and send those items. Like, nobody knows who you are. So I'm not sure why you'd be embarrassed even photographing it to sell. Like, you just have to think of it as the process. It's just another item that goes up on your hook to photograph and sell, or take a photo of and sell. It's just another item. Hey, Michaela. I more struggle with how much I might buy. I always think they're judging me or going, oh, she's a seller, which who cares really, but I feel really embarrassed. I think, Gay, in the beginning of my reselling journey, I was a little bit conscious, like I didn't want them to know that I was a reseller. But now I tell anyone and everyone in the charity shops that I'm a reseller. And all it's done since I've done that is bring me contacts. I have so many contacts within my charity stores now who know me and know exactly what I do, and all it's done is bring me benefits. I now get them looking out for things for me. I've got a couple of stores that hold things out the back for me because they know that I'm coming in regularly and they know that I'm looking for those particular things. You know, I literally told one of my charity stores the other week that I was interested in shoes that look like stripper shoes. I live in a city that is full of brothels, and like those, I'm actively seeking that kind of goods. Like, it brings high money, it brings high profit. So I actually told the charity store manager, if you see any of these, can you set them for me, set them aside for me? I'm interested. And he knows I'm a buyer. He knows I'm a good buyer. He knows I buy and spend a lot of money in stores. So, you know, like, he will actively remember, especially because it's something different. Oh, Mel, she wants the stripper shoes. Like, there's money in those. So I don't know. I think that's something that's in your head, and it's all about not making assumptions about what other people think. Because quite often, and I say this to my children sometimes as well, like, don't presume that you know what somebody else is thinking. Like, you know, you might think, oh, how embarrassing, my friend's going to judge me over this top or whatever, but you're making that assumption in your head. They might not be thinking two hoots about it. And it's the same with resellers. You might just be having this total assumption that the person next to you in the charity store is giving you the side glance. They might not be giving you the side glance for buying it. They might be giving the item a side glance because they want it and they've seen you pick it up. So don't assume that they're giving you a guilty look for being a reseller. Some of the charity stores actually welcome resellers, and you know, not everybody thinks that a reseller is bad. And, you know, at the end of the day, we're spending money in their stores, paying full price for the same amount that any other person walking in the door will pay. So, you know, try and not think of yourself as a bad person. Like, it's almost like you're thinking of yourself as you're bad for buying to resell. Like, it's almost like you feel guilty about doing it if you're worried about them judging you for doing it. So and I know it's hard. I know it's hard not to overthink things or change your mindset. Like, it's one of the biggest challenges in life, isn't it, to change your mindset about something? But it's such an important mental thing to work on. And, you know, the more listen to some things about mindset while you're working. Listen to podcasts or motivational people who talk quite specifically about mindset. And after a while, you will start to kind of go, like, no fucks. Like, stop caring, you know, like, get to that age in your life where really, like, who cares? Like, like, who cares if that person in the charity shop thinks you're odd for buying the book on sex, how to have sex? Who cares if that person behind the counter thinks that you're buying those women pairs of shoes to wear yourself as a male? Like, who cares? You know what you're buying them for. Who cares what that random person thinks that you're actually never going to see again? Or maybe you'll see them next time in the store and they'll just get used to you buying random things. If a guy is buying multiple sizes of lady clothes, just say you're a gigolo and buying gifts for your clients. Honestly, do they ask you? Like, I have occasionally when I'm buying big bulk lots, they'll say, you know, oh, what are you going to do with all this stuff? I just simply say, I'm a reseller. I sell it. I sell it. I do not even hesitate to say that anymore. I sell it. I on-sell it. And they just go, a lot of them are quite interested. You'll be surprised. Oh, really? Is there money in that? I sit there and say, yeah, I sell it. It's great. You know, I get to stay home with my kids. And they're straight away, those old ladies in the shops, oh, isn't that wonderful? You get to stay home and work with your kids. Stay home, be with your kids. Yes. So I've got no shame in saying that. Yeah. Must admit, I do well with sexy upmarket bras. Oh my goodness. Like, some of those bra brands are expensive. And, you know, if you can find certain honey, what's her name? Honey Bridette, Victoria's Secret, even bras and things, like these kind of bras are, $50 to buy, and there's definitely money to be made in them, especially the bigger the bra, bigger the bra. Like if the bra will fit on your head, if the cup size will fit on your head, money, money, money. So, sexy big bras, the bigger the better. Like it's actually hard to, sometimes it's hard to buy bigger bras. Like if you are a size double D upwards, it can be quite difficult to buy them in the store, So, people will look for them online because they can be hard. Like a lot of the bra shops are like a size D under, and, you can get really like low range. So you have to go buy it online. And you know what, Joanna? There's also another fetish out there for men who like to buy used bras. So they like the thought of a bra being worn. So sometimes it's not even a woman who's buying that bra to wear for themselves. Sometimes it's a male who wants that sexy bra that they know has been worn by someone else, because that's a fetish. So there's big money in marketing to fetish type items. I never get embarrassed. I once had to wear a wedding dress out of the shop because I had too much to carry. Oh, Rod. Used fetish shoes always get questions asked for pics wearing the shoes on eBay. Absolutely, because it's a huge, huge fetish for people wearing shoes. Anybody who asks you to put on the shoes, it's because that they have like a fetish about it. They do. So there's a market for it, absolute market for it. Hi all, hello Skilt. I'm from Ireland. I buy almost any item being a male. I buy female hygiene products except for resale, and I don't mind anything once I can make a buck. 100% agree. Another thing that sells really well is adult size incontinence pants, nappies, adult disposable panties, and you will quite often find them in a charity shop because a lot of older people need to wear them, and when they pass away, their family just donates them. They've got nothing to use them for, so they just donate them. And so quite often elderly people buy them, get them in bulk lots as well, so they have like chunks of them sitting at their house because they don't go shopping very often. So when they pass away, they get donated into the charity shops, and those pants are expensive to buy brand new. And if you can pick them up for cheap in the charity shop for a couple of bucks a packet, then I can guarantee you'll make money selling them on eBay. So would you be too embarrassed to go in there and buy that? Like, don't be embarrassed. Or if there's, even at your local supermarket, you might find female, hygiene products on a really good sale, and you might be able to resell those on eBay as well. Think about things that people are. If you're awkward buying it, somebody else is awkward buying it. So think of that more as an opportunity. There's opportunity to make money in things that make people uncomfortable. So if you can get over the fact that you're uncomfortable, you're the one who wins and makes the money. I have a gorgeous blouse in my store, and when I did the research, I found it was a fetish blouse. It is now in the title with a higher price and lots of views. Absolutely. You have to use those keywords if it's a fetish. If you've got a pair of shoes that looks like it's a fetish pair of shoes, then you put fetish. And use those keywords to your advantage. Put them into your topics in your subtitles, not your subtitles, into your item specifics where it says topics. Make sure you add those words in: fetish, BDSM, different words like that, which will bring more viewers who are actively searching for those items. The chat just jumped, so now I am my secret is revealed a bit. Look, honestly, Kelly, I don't find a lot of them. but I actively look for them when I'm looking for shoes. I will not just skip past the really, really crazy looking high shoes because sometimes you sit there and you think, oh my God, who would wear those? Who would buy those? But you're actually selling them for that specific kind of niche. So you need to think differently about those shoes as if oh my God, I would never wear those shoes. Who would wear those shoes? So start trying to think of it as a different it's just a different way of thinking, isn't it? It's just being aware of what other people use certain items for. Reg, I always look through women's G's, and yes, it was the first time I had a serious look through other women's clothes. Bought anything my ex-wife would wear, figuring other women would too. That's so awesome, Reg. Like, I'm proud of you. Because, yeah, I mean, there's definitely money in it. And it just goes about doing your research and learning as you go. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you will be flipping through the racks, looking for certain brands and certain clothes. And you know, if you are a male and you are really conscious about buying women's clothes and women's shoes, start with the shoes. Start with the shoes and you will be absolutely mind blown with how much money you can make with them. So, yeah, definitely start with the shoes. Run your comps. If you're not familiar with the brands, that's fine. Have a look around. Some of the shoes that will sell for really good money in the women's section will be just the brands that you know when you go to your shopping mall and there's specific shops for specific brands. So you've got Sandler, Whitner, Julius and Marlowe or whatever for the male. There's different like they have a whole shop of shoes for one brand. Those are the brands that you should be really looking at. So next time you walk around your shopping mall, have a little look at the specific shoes for a single brand, because generally like a shoe shop, so let's say Sandler or something. So let's say we go to Sandler and they've got a specific shop, Sandler shoes. I can guarantee that most of the shoes in that shop will be like $80 plus, you know, and if they're the kind of shoes that are then in quite abundance that are coming through to the charity shops, because they're the ones that are in all the shopping malls. So you'll be surprised then at how much, if they're selling a pair of shoes for $130, $140 new, like you're going to be able to, if you can buy those shoes for $5, $7, you're going to be able to resell them as long as they're in, not, you know, pretty good condition, the soles aren't worn out, and, you know, they're, you know, the leather's looking good and stuff. Like there's so much money. So if you're a guy and you're embarrassed to buy women's clothes, my challenge to you would be to start with looking at the shoes and running the comps on the brands if you're not familiar with them, and looking them up, and even just sitting at home spending a couple of hours running some comps on women's shoes. You're at home, nobody can see you, there's nobody to judge you, and just have a look how many shoes are selling, and you know, really do your research at home before you go to those shops. Maybe if you are embarrassed, start looking things up. Just spend an hour a week looking up, maybe look up women's skirts or women's shorts or women's jeans or women's shoes or women's handbags. Look for those kind of items. So then when you go into the shop, if you are a bit awkward for those first few times, you've already mentally looked at what's selling online, and you can mentally go through and hopefully retain some of that information to see it. Hey, Sam. Some of my pals know who I am on eBay, so I'm very cautious about selling fetish items. Honestly, Jonathan, if they know that you are reselling to make money and that your eBay store is there to resell and make money, who cares? Who cares if they're looking? If they come to you and say, "Ooh, Jonathan, look what you're selling. Look at those sexy shoes. What are you doing with those?" You can just sit there and go, "Oh, yes, boys, I'm making the money." That's what you do. I think men of a certain generation were taught to be a certain kind of man in a way, and those things would be deemed as wrong or not manly by the elder males in the family. Maybe it comes back to how you've been brought up, and different eras did different things, and we are now living in an era where things are so open. There really should be no shame with anyone. And maybe it's because a lot of the workers who work in these charity shops are older people themselves. Maybe we feel like because they're older, they think it's a bit weird. But, I think so much of it is really about that we make assumptions, and we presume what other people are thinking, and we make assumptions about what other people think of us. We make assumptions about what other people think we're doing. And, then it just becomes like a mental roller coaster inside our heads and builds up anxiety. And then, once we feel anxious about something, then we are hindered, and we're overwhelmed, and then we are often just almost crippled by our anxiety. We're crippled by the thought of being judged, and we do live in a world that's very judging, and it's so hard to get past it. I don't know, as I've got older, I really just don't care so much about what other people think of me. Like, life's too short. Life is too short to care if somebody thinks that I'm weird for buying like a pair of stripper shoes, or if somebody thinks I'm weird for buying a secondhand bra from the store, or if somebody thinks I'm strange buying a, plus-sized negligee or lingerie, or I do not care. I do not care what people think. I do not care if they ask me. Most of the time they won't ask you. I just really don't care. If I get a big haul, most op shops always comment about how much I have. Yeah, a lot of them do when you have a really big haul. I think some of them are actually quite fascinated by it for it. I don't think they're actually judging you. I think some of them find it quite interesting, like, well, maybe I could do this myself. There's money in this. Ladies buy guy stuff all the time. Absolutely. And maybe as women, we're used to shopping for our men. We buy, I know that I buy a lot of my husband's clothes for him. I don't have any qualms in buying menswear. In fact, menswear is one of my top sellers in clothing. So I actively seek menswear. No shame. But, it seems to be more based around the men being conscious to buy the women's stuff. And, I'm not really sure why you feel awkward about it or judged. I don't know if you feel self-conscious that you think that people think you're going to be wearing that when you go home in secret, and that bothers you or something. Like, hey, it's a really strange thing. However, like, by doing it, you are leaving money on the table. And especially, like, maybe if you're a part-time seller and you can be a little bit more picky, and you can maybe that, but if you're a full-time seller and you're the type of seller that just sells all different types of random stuff and clothes and things like that, don't be ashamed of buying for the other gender. Gay's saying the same thing. I think it's normal for women to buy clothes for men, but it's not the same for men to buy women for clothes. And if they do, they don't buy a bucket load of clothes. Maybe. I'm male, but I sell female items only, as females spend more and more often. Boom. Females spend money. We love to shop. Like, it's a huge thing. We love to shop online. So this is absolutely right. This is you knowing your market and knowing what's going to bring you profit, and you're reaping the benefits from that, because no fear, no shame, like no embarrassment. You just know exactly what makes you money, and you're here to make money. And I'm exactly the same. I'm here to make money. I don't care what I sell. I will buy it if I know it will make me money. So, yeah. Can you do a video about clothes us clueless males should buy? It's really hard for me to do a video about clothes because I feel like with clothes you need to do a little bit of research. You do need to, like, clothes can be a little bit tricky to sell, and you do need to look around at what's in fashion, what's in trend. And, the best way to, we all live in different countries, like PVP, you would have different brands to what we have here in Australia. So what sells for me will be different for you. However, like, it's worth watching other female resellers and seeing what they pick up, especially on Instagram. There's a lot of really good hauls on Instagram. You're obviously in Canada, so maybe you probably got Poshmark over there. So maybe start looking at, if you're on, I don't know if you're on Instagram PVP, but maybe you should sign up because there's a lot of Poshmark sellers on Instagram, and you'll actually be able to, they share a lot in their stories and their feeds about what type of clothes and brands they're buying. But, the best thing you can do to learn is to get your phone out in the store and run the comps. Look it up. This brand, whatever your brand is, Coca-Cola, size 10, Coca-Cola. Nike, women's, size 10, blah, blah, blah. Like women's caftan top, plus size 18. Look it up on your phone, in the store, in your comps. Once upon a time I was embarrassed to look up in my phone. Like, oh, what if somebody sees me looking up on the eBay app? How embarrassing. Now I don't care. I will just pull the phone out, punch it in. If I see it's going to make me money, it goes in my basket. And really, you have to do that with women's stuff. If you're not familiar with it, I'm not familiar with electronics, so I do it all the time with electronics or, what did I buy the other day that was really cute? Like a teapot, like this really special looking teapot. And I just I didn't know anything about the teapot, but I could tell by looking at it that it was a little bit special. Ran the comps, that teapot was selling for $80. So I think it's just a matter of, if you don't know something, if you're not familiar with something, you must run the comps in store before you buy it. There's only so much you want to take a gamble on with coming home and not doing it. And, I think just pull the phone out, look up the brand, look up the size, try and guess the style, floral, abstract, whatever it might be, and try and think of it in your head. Even if you're not sure, ask the lady who works there, excuse me, what style of dress is this? Oh, that's an A-line dress. Do you know what I mean? Like, ask for help. Like, don't be ashamed of asking for help. Like, if you see something that you think is going to make you money, especially if it's got, have a look, if it's got it like a brand new with tags on it, it often says exactly what the style is, and you can just punch it straight into the comps. Where are we? I buy some women's flat shoes, but when it comes to high heels, it's game over for me. Some of these op shop female assistants not only think things, they make comments. Really? I just think that's so rude. Like, people are so judgmental. I would probably make some smart comment back because that's me. I'm a bit of a smart ass. But I just, I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm glad you're buying flat shoes at least, because there's so much money in flat shoes and comfort shoes and ugly shoes. But, there is a lot of money. I sell a lot of high heels. Some of them are just more simple black, nude colored ones, for everyday work for women's. And, some of them are quite out there. I've sold shoes that have been covered in My Little Pony and designs, and shoes that are covered in studs, and there's so much. Like, just have a look next time you're in there, Ian, and try not to worry about what other people think. I know it's hard. We all do it. We all do feel concerned and worried about what people think of us. It's a hard barrier to get past, to stop worrying about what people think of us or being judged by others. It's like a massive trait to overcome. I'm not perfect at it myself. I worry about what people think of me as well all the time, but I don't so much worry about it when I'm in a charity shop, because when I'm in that charity shop, I think of it, I'm there, this is my job. This is my job. If somebody was paying me to go in and source and buy quality items to resell, I wouldn't. Would you feel different about it? If you were being paid by the hour by somebody else to go in there and source women's shoes, would that make you think differently about it? It's all about the mindset. For me, I'm in there on a mission to make money. This is my job, my full-time income. The more money I make from this means the more money for my household, the more money for my bills, the more chance I've got of going on a holiday. Like, who cares? Who cares? We've got to get past this. We've got to get past this. The you guys, especially who are totally leaving out the whole women's genre, need to, start running some comps and looking them up. I did have some funny looks last year at the op shop when I bought that suspicious-looking massager. I just shrugged their looks off and said I was lonely. Put the embarrassment back on them. And you know what, Rod? You sold that massager because it was medical grade for a lot of money. I remember, like, you sold it for a what's going on with my hair there? You sold that massager because it looked a little bit rude and you got good money for it. No. I'm not that. I'm just open to buying all the items they use to make money. Yep. Good money in stripper gear. I will pick anything up that will turn a profit. Absolutely. Women's clothing is hard. First, it's seasonal. Second, it's out of fashion. Third, the brands. Fourth, the colors that are trending. I stick with women's jeans. Mel, will you get into electronics and hard goods? I think that this is the difference with Drew, but you're not ashamed or embarrassed to go there and look at women's items that'll make you money because you're in there to make money. And so you're actually not embarrassed to go and buy those women's items. If you knew more, if you understood more about women's clothes and knew more what to buy and knew that kind of stuff, you would totally be open to going there and buying that. Whereas, like, a lot of the men don't seem to have that same mentality. Like, I know you have it, Drew. I know that you are willing to buy things to make money. And the fact that you're even willing to buy women's jeans, you've learnt the market enough that you are comfortable in knowing what to buy with women's jeans. So it's not that you're uncomfortable being in that women's section, that you're actually just you're more knowledgeable on the jeans. So, I think that's great. I think you're a great example, Drew, of somebody who's just there to find things to make money and not be embarrassed about who's looking at you and what you're buying. Will I get into electronics and hard goods? Well, I am trying to step outside my box a little bit at the moment, and I'm definitely open to it. I'm always been open to it. I'm just not very good at it. But I'm not embarrassed to buy any of it. I'm not I'm not worried about that. It's more just a knowledge factor for me, and probably the fact that I'm such a churn and burn, and I'm trying to sell in volume and stuff. Like, I tend to stick more to what I know rather than spending a lot of time researching new things. It's not that I don't research new things. I do definitely research them, but I definitely spend most of my time doing things I already know that bring me money. But I'm definitely open. I'm open to buying absolutely anything that will make money. I'm not interested in hard goods that I need to repair or breaking apart for parts to sell, things like that. I'm just not interested in that side of it. But I'm definitely open to electronics and hard goods. So I can't see what's happening here. I'm into anything, Rod, if it turns a profit. I'm the same, Polly. It's all money. PVP. I stopped caring about strangers' judgments a long time ago. It's a lack of knowledge more than being embarrassed. Yeah, I also truly believe that sometimes it's an assumption, that we make assumptions. And one of my favorite books to read, it's just an easy, light read. It's called The 4 Agreements, and it's making those 4 agreements to yourself. And one of them is don't make assumptions. So don't make assumptions about other people. Don't make assumptions about what other people think of you. It's just a vicious circle. If you stop making assumptions, your life frees of anxiety and so many things. Bra brands. That's now my go-to saying for sounding Australian. Hi, Mrs. Resell. Mrs. Resell has just started a YouTube channel, so shout out to her. She's a long-time seller, and she's given this whole YouTube gig a go, which is really hard. So good luck on that. Big boobs, big money. It really is. It really is, Sam. Like, the bigger the boobs, that's what I say. If you see a bra and you could fit that on your head, that's money. That's money. Don't buy the little bras. Don't buy the little bralettes in the size A or the B cups. You want the big ones. They're hard to find. They're hard to buy. When I was pregnant with my 4th child, and I had my breast implants then, so then when I feel pregnant, my boobs were massive, like F cup. And for the life of me, I could not find bras in that size that didn't have an underwire, and I had so much difficulty finding items in that size. So yeah, definitely the bigger the better. Beautiful bras with the tagged remove. Yeah, I think a lot of people, maybe people get given them as gifts. Maybe they wear them once, but definitely money in bras. I cannot buy anyone's gammy old bra. Some of them are hardly worn, DBG. And there's money in them. There's money in them. As long as you're choosing the brands, you can't just buy any brand. You buy the nice brands. Is that what we have to do as a male to gouge the bra size? I draw the line at walking around the shop with it on my head. We just visualize it. Like, is this going to fit on like a head? That's a big boob. You don't have to physically put it on. You don't have to put it on your head in the charity shop. Just imagine it. Would this bra fit on my head? Is this bra the size of a dinner plate? I think that's why plus sell size really well. People are embarrassed to try it on in the store. Yeah, a lot of time plus size women, plus size men, they're embarrassed to buy it. Maybe they're embarrassed to try it on in the store. Maybe they're uncomfortable trying things on the store. They just prefer to do it at home in private. I also think that with plus sizes, you can't buy all brands of clothing in plus size. So a lot of the time, plus sizing has their own brands. It's a bit like having a specific brand of shoes. There are specific brands that are dedicated to plus size 16 and above. So a lot of people who are plus size, they are familiar with that brand and they are familiar with their size. So they can then quite often just purchase online the same brand and the same size that they normally wear from that shop, and they don't even have to go in and look for it. So for me, I think that's why a lot of plus size does very well, because they actually have specific niches of brands. There's a lot of specific brands that are made just for plus size. And, there are a lot of women's stores, like, say, for instance, Q. Q is an expensive brand of women's clothes here in Australia, and you can resell Q for good money. However, Q doesn't go past size 14 or maybe 16, but I worked there many, many years ago for a while, and I'm pretty sure it didn't go past a size 14, and there's definitely no plus sizes in Q. So, plus size women aren't looking for Q stuff. They don't go into those stores. Plus size women look for autograph, or they become familiar with their brands that are made for bigger people. Same as like men. I sell quite a lot of plus size menswear. Like there are certain I'm just trying to think, is it Johnny Big or Big Johnny or something? Like Big Johnny. I think it's made for Tara Cash. And, they have big size denim shorts and big size shirts, and, they sell well for me. So, definitely because it's like a specific, it's almost like a specific brand made for plus size. I need to go to the store and put them on my head. Yep, great storage as well. 1 bucket and over $2,000 in stock for less. I get the fetish questions all the time. Yep, I really don't care if somebody thinks that I'm got a fetish myself because it's in my store. Think that all you want. I don't care. Just buy my stuff. Bring me the money. I just bought one half price in a sale for £20. So that's 40 Australian dollars. You can't get cheap sizes when you're over a certain size. Absolutely, Lainey. Absolutely. They're expensive. Bras are expensive. I used to work with a woman who sold used underwear. We are sure she left to do it full time. Absolutely. That is a whole other genre with money. Big money in worn airline stewardess clothing. Absolutely, Dave. You can search air hostess shoes on eBay. I bet you they come up. Doesn't matter. That exactly like you said. That is a fetish in itself, and those shoes can be totally worn and horrible. So Google and look up what type of shoes that they're wearing. And, money. People are sick. Everyone's got their own little thing, and, we're here to capitalize on it and make the money. Leanne. I can't believe how knowledgeable. Well, I do research items that make me money. Like, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to make money. I honestly am open to learning about new things like that. And I am familiar with what men like from women. And as men, you should probably be familiar with what other males have as fetishes and, capitalize on that. Money. It's money. So I very much doubt you would buy a mega pair size of jocks. I challenge you to buy a mega pair of skanky jocks, and I will buy the same in women's belly warmers. Now, Rod, to be honest with you, I don't see many male jocks in the charity shop. I'll have a look for them next time. I would buy those jocks if they would make money. No doubt about it. I'm not ashamed to buy things like that if it's going to make me money. So if I thought that a used pair of male jocks would make money, then I would buy them. I don't particularly think there's a big market for buying women's underwear. Well, there is, but that's like different. But I think bras are different to underpants. To be honest, I think bras are different to underpants, and if I honestly don't. I think I just don't know. Like most men's jocks, they're buying them from Kmart, Big W. They're not spending a huge amount of money. Maybe if they were Calvin Klein or something and they were like tidy whities or they were new in the box, I would not hesitate to buy a pair of Calvin Klein underpants that are in a box. But I think buying a used pair of men's jocks that are just the standard Bonds jockey brand, you're not going to make money off them. So, I'm not just not buying men's jocks because I'm embarrassed to buy them. I'd be not buying those men's jocks because they wouldn't make me enough money. So, I'm totally open. If there was money in your men's jocks, I'm totally open to buying them. I have a friend who sells dirty socks and she makes a killing. Yes, because again, she's targeting to the fetish market of the people who have a fetish about feet, which is it's the biggest fetish market there is in the sex industry is feet. So, and think about it. Socks, shoes, stockings, boots, like all that can come in with that fetish. So, money. Would I put the jocks on my head? I might do this just for an Instagram photo. Oh, this is funny. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know, like I was just really surprised the other day when my friend said they wouldn't buy women's shoes. And I was just like, what is wrong with you? You are a full-time seller and your job is to make money reselling secondhand items. For goodness sake, get out there and buy those women's shoes that make high profits and make money. Like, don't leave this money on the table because you're embarrassed. If you are embarrassed to buy, whether or not it's just a simple pair of shoes or clothes or something more kinky or whatever, I challenge you to try and buy. I challenge you to step out of your comfort zone, and even if you don't buy it, look through it in the stores. Look through it and get over the mental complex that people are judging you for looking at those racks. If you're a male who doesn't do it, I challenge you to go over to the women's shoe section and look through them, pick them up, look at the brands, run the comps, even if you don't buy any. I just challenge you to step out of your comfort zone and look in those areas and, get past the whole, oh my God, this person is looking at me because I'm looking at this weird pair of shoes, or I'm looking at this flip through the bra racks. Even if you're a woman and you're conscious about, even if you don't want to buy the bra, if you're worried about buying it, if you think, how embarrassing, what if somebody thinks I'm buying this bra for me? Like, how embarrassing thinking I'm buying a secondhand bra. Flip through the racks just to challenge yourself. Like, that would be my thing to you. You don't have to buy it, but challenge yourself to have a look and challenge yourself to get over your fear of, looking at things that potentially you're losing money on. So, yeah. Anyway, can I be your first client? We've been going for an hour. I have absolutely yabbled on, but I think that you have got my my message and my point. And, basically don't make those assumptions. Don't worry about what other people think of you. Keep thinking about the dollar. Keep thinking about the money, because that's what reselling is. Reselling is to make profit and make money on items that we resell. It really doesn't matter what those items are as long as they make us money. So get out there and find all that lost money that you are walking straight past because you're a bit like, ooh, that's weird. Ooh, how embarrassing if I look at that. So, yeah. Go out there, make some money. If you find something, if you step out of your little box in your comfort zone and you buy something, send me a photo on Instagram. If you step out of your comfort zone, let me know. I think it's great. I'll give you a pat on the back and, let's bring on some money here. Bring on the money. Okay. New eBay store, funky fetish. Bye, guys. Have a good day. See ya.